All right, so you know when you take two ignorant people, okay, in a room, you sit them at a table and you bring up a make-believe conversation with make-believe problems, and they try to come up with make-believe solutions. That is this conversation that Ben Shapiro is having with some other idiot at his table. I have no idea how these kind of people have such great skill in holding a 10, 20, 30-minute conversation about something that is about nothing. It is crazy to me. Like, how can you go along with this forever acting scene? It's like they will not, it's like the camera is constantly rolling. You know what I'm saying? Just hearing this conversation, we're going to watch it together. Just knowing that when they're talking about wokeness, in a situation with wokeness and how it's affecting people, and people are like turning into like, I don't know, zombies who just stay awake. Like, you know, that's some bull. You know the real history and the meaning of being woke. And they're trying to pretend as if they're having some great intellectual conversation to empower people. And it's like, but you're telling people, you're trying to enlighten people about this wokeness, but at the same time, you're doing exactly what the real meaning of being woke is. Being woke is to be enlightened, to be aware and knowledgeable about your environment, injustices, and, you know, things that's going wrong. You are now aware of that. So they're trying to make aware their audience about being woke. It's I swear to you, these people need to go to Mars with Elon Musk, and they just need to take off their helmets, okay? Take off their helmets and take a deep breath and never come back. These are the kind of people I wish would do that, and that would make me the happiest person ever, okay? So let's go ahead, watch this video, and let's have this conversation.
Start off with sort of how you've gained a lot of notoriety, which is the anti-woke fight. How did you find yourself in that fight, and why has it become such a big thing?
Well, initially I was a stand-up comedian, and I really wasn't clued into any of what was going on. And then suddenly I just heard people talking about certain groups of people on race and sex as if they're really bad. And I couldn't really work out what that was about. So my friend and Francis and I, we just wanted to find out why it is that this was happening. And Brexit then really lit a fire under this, because I don't know if you know this, but in comedy, there's this idea of like punching down, which is making fun of vulnerable groups. And then after Brexit, and Francis and I both voted Remain, by the way, in that referendum, but suddenly like it was totally okay to suggest that old people who'd voted for Brexit should die on stage for comedians. And I just thought that doesn't really make sense. And so we wanted to find out what was the ideology behind what was going on in our industry, which I think jumped into wokeness a lot earlier than many other industries. We're like way ahead.
And then you were at Oxford, and obviously there's a lot of controversy over your activities at Oxford in the anti-woke category. So why don't you tell people about that?
Well, that was a speech that I gave a few months ago that went super viral around the world. And really, I was asked to speak about wokeness, but probably like you, I'm kind of getting tired of talking about it. Like I want to get to the post-woke.
First off, do not tell Ben Shapiro you're getting tired of talking about wokeness, because right now, that's the only thing that's fueling their Daily Wire company. If it wasn't for wokeness and that whole transformation of a word, they would still be punching down just on trans people and immigrants right now. This is the only thing that is fresh to them, that their audience hasn't already been fed over and over and over again. So don't tell Ben Shapiro that, okay? I could tell Ben wanted to backslap him, like, hey, don't mess with my money. And we're gonna talk about woke till the wheels fall off, okay? So
world. And that's why I'm thinking a lot about what is the positive vision that we can offer young people. So when they asked me to speak about wokeness, I was like, look, I'm so tired of this. I don't want to talk to you about this. Let's talk about an issue you guys care about. You say, young people say,
I need you to listen to this. This is exactly what I was saying. They're trying to attack this wokeness by trying to make their audience aware of what's going on. Just take a listen. Listen how ignorant
suffering
this
from
is.
climate anxiety. You say that, this is a massive issue that you really care about. But look at what you're actually doing. You're not doing anything. You're just, following in the footsteps of St. Greta of climate change. You're talking, you're scolding. You're not doing anything. And the way to improve the world is to work, is to create things, is to build things. And I gave them some ideas.
To create and to build things. To do that, you have to be aware of what needs to be created and what needs to be built, where you can inject yourself to improve for your community, for your country, for the world. You have to be aware of these things. So we can't be aware of our broken criminal justice system, our policing system, our Second Amendment, our First Amendment, just dignity and human rights. We can't be aware of that. Oh, but you say we have to do something. Well, we know just based off of history, you don't have to physically create something. You don't have to physically build something. Look at Martin Luther. We could just look at Martin Luther King alone. I got a whole list for you. We could just look at Martin Luther King alone. What did he physically build? I mean, he just spoke, right? He wasn't no MMA fighter. He didn't run for president. He didn't build some, Fortune 500 company. He just spoke to people, and he played a major key in the civil rights movement. What is this idiot talking about? I honestly, I pray to God every single day that these idiots would just pick up a book and read something that actually has facts and history behind it. Maybe they might learn something, but if they don't, I need them to tear all the pages in a big old book and swallow every single page and just keep eating and don't stop. That's what I want them to do, because I am so tired of listening to idiots like this.
I think powerful arguments about how, making poor people in the rest of the world poorer isn't going to get them on board with fixing climate or anything like that. So that's kind of where I'm coming from now, is I think we all know what the problem is with wokeness. It's anti-West, it's anti-merit, and it's anti-truth. Let's talk about why the West is good. Let's talk about why merit is important, and let's talk about why truth is important.
The 4th of July is right around the corner. With how many family gatherings we have lined up, the last thing I need when I host my family is to run out of wire. But that's not his wireless 4. You and I are talking off air about this a little bit, but people like Andrew have been getting all sorts of notoriety, largely because they're punching back so hard. And I understand the sympathy for that position, but it feels to me like that's also carrying forward some messages that are not what we would traditionally conceive of as sort of within the Western civilized context as what it would mean to be a man. And this carries a danger too. It seems to me that politics in this era has become so radically vacillating. If it just feels like a pendulum, but there's no center to the pendulum. It never. You imagine that at a certain point the momentum would kind of give away, and it would sort of reach stasis somewhere in the middle. But instead, things are vacillating so wildly that the radicals at each extreme seem to take energy from the radicals at the opposite extreme, and so you end up just not knowing where you are. It feels chaotic.
Well, we live in the age of extremism, and I think that's big reason for that is social media. Social media rewards and encourages people to say the most ridiculous, outlandish things.
Now, he is right about that. But what I don't understand, he is right. Let me give him his applaud right there. You are right there. Social media and these platforms reward these type of disingenuous type of engagements. sex and drugs and fighting. That seems to be what drives people to these platforms. And they know that's going to get the clicks. When you get the clicks, you get the ads. When you get the ads, you get the money. When you get the money, you want more money. So, of course, they're going to reward shows like Ben Shapiro. Does he not know what show he is on? The number one show that thrives in people fighting one another off of nothing, off of a made-believe, made-up boogeyman. Does he not know that? Just do some research and maybe you wouldn't sound like an idiot to hundreds of thousands of people. Maybe.
So Andrew Tate is a symptom. I don't know him personally. I don't have any particular issue with him. But I think if we're talking about, the pushback against the demonization of men and masculinity and so on, what that looks like is encouraging men to be responsible, encouraging men to have families and look after their kids. And I think that's much more, to me, it's never been my aspiration to have lots of cars and to bang lots of hot women. Like I've always thought that, what a man's job is to look after other people and to take responsibility. And
so do you honestly think Andrew Tate is in the situation that he's in currently because he's telling men to take care of your kids? You think he's in a situation he's in because Andrew Tate is telling men to take care of their lady? Oh, sweet God, man. Like, what is the cure to cure intellectual laziness? We need to figure that out. If you honestly believe Andrew Tate is in the situation he's in because he's telling men to work hard and take care of your family, you are the biggest, douchiest idiot in the world. And I say that with every fiber of my being. I will put my last dollar on that you probably haven't read an important book in a very long time. Okay? Please don't be that idiot, okay? Please don't be that guy.
So that's the message I'm trying to put out there.
So let's talk for a second about the fact that you wrote a book, An Immigrant's Love Letter to the West. So what is your history? And because
you know what, we don't care because we already kind of know what he's going to say. I came as an immigrant and I seen America in some, beacon on a hill, and my family didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. So I had to work hard and I achieved the American dream. So I don't know why Americans are crying about something that I love so much. Like, we know what he's going to say. Okay. So let's just go ahead and put that to the side. I need people to do better. I need individual human beings to do better. We cannot continue to fight over a made-believe word, a made-believe boogeyman, while the 1%, while the people at the top continue to steal and exploit Americans, well, essentially anyone. We can't allow that. We only got one life to live, and we're sitting here arguing about wokeness, and we know the real definition of wokeness, but you want to spend all your time, money, and energy on fighting that. You are a lost cause if that's the only thing that you think is stopping America from thriving and being the greatest country that we both want it to be. You are a trash idiot, and I am sorry, but you need to know the truth. But once again, Am I the bad guy? Am I the one that need to read some more books? Even though I do read, a book a week, and I'm fairly educated and spiritual at the same time, and fit. Am I the wrong? Am I in the wrong? You know what I'm saying? So once again, let me know in the comments down below. And like always, let's have that conversation.